Thing, as you said, you weren't coming up for us, I know you're just up for a couple of days.
No, I was joking with you. No, I was of course coming up, but it just it made sense with the kids being off school and stuff like that to try and turn it into a bit of a holiday and say what a beautiful part of the world, Donegal as well. So we'll take in the sights tomorrow and over the next few days.
Of course, and there's plenty to see. Let me tell you. Come here, just when the Rising Suns, it seemed to have a bit like Honor.
Yeah,
it seems to have taken legs of its own, hasn't it?
Well, it's certainly evolved. You know, we're going from strength to strength. Honestly, Paul, I always thought we were onto something good with this because of the camaraderie involved, the friendship involved, and the sheer musicality. There's just so many musicians, and we've spent time kind of perfecting it and getting it right and stuff. But because we're friends and because it's born out of a local session, being able to take it out on the road and play in bigger venues and charge tickets and fill rooms, it's been
a bonus.
Yeah, it's been an absolute roller coaster.
Is that where it started? Like as in a session, and it progressed from sessions?
Yeah, pretty much. I was touring with the High Kings, and during my downtime when I wasn't out on the road, I was kind of missing the music and the spontaneity of the crack that you get from a live music setting. So I approached one of the local bars and I asked them if they'd let me start up a session. So we put the word around, if anybody around played an instrument or sang a song, that they were more than welcome to come down. But we didn't realise at that stage what kind of monster we were going to end up creating, you know, because it's an 8-piece band altogether.
Is that what you have now?
Yeah, so there's an electric guitar, bass guitar, drums, banjo, mandolin, fiddles, whistles, harmonica. It's a wall of sound.
Excellent. So you're playing you're playing the Ballor, and you're playing in Dungiven.
Yes, so we're in Dungiven, which will be a session format style kind of gig. We'll be sitting around and having a sing-song, drinking a few pints and having the crack, which is what we were born out of and stuff. So we're really looking forward to that. But then the following night is stand-up concert in the Ballor, and I was talking to Connor down at the Ballor, who told me that they've put an extra 50 tickets on sale because the initial 200 are pretty much sold out.
Well done.
Now, so fingers crossed we can.
No, well done. And the thing about it is, people once again, and do you know, I think social media is helping that, because people are looking at your sessions and they're saying, this is great music. This is, you know, and it's great to see it back again, you know. During the lockdown, and I always ask us, or the COVID, or whatever you want to call it, how did that affect you music-wise, George?
Well, I suppose we were only kind of just starting off the Rising Sun, so we had the bit between our teeth. We just finished our first tour, and we just kind of felt like the legs were taken out from under us, you know. But then at the same time, a lot of creativity comes from that. I mean, like the Honor lads kind of started sharing stuff with each other online, because you were forced into this world of, you know, you're on computers. Now, that's how I got to speak to Tom first, because I was online looking at things that I probably wouldn't have been looking at otherwise, only for COVID. So some kind of weird opportunities ended up presenting themselves, because you have to get your thinking cap on and think differently and think outside the box when you're faced with these kind of hardships, you know.
Well, we'd love to get a song first anyway, and then we'll talk more. And the first song you're going to do first, George, or your second song, I should say.
Yeah, I don't the old triangle of the lads. I was thinking of doing Sweet 16.
Beautiful song. Beautiful song. Whenever you're ready.
When first I saw the love light in your eyes, I thought this world held naught but joy for me. And even though we drifted far apart, I never dreamed what I dreamed as I've never loved before. Since first I saw you on the village green, come to me in my dreams of love alone. Oh, I love you as I loved you when you were sweet, when you were sweet, 16. I love you as I've never loved before. Since first I saw you on the village green, come to me in my dreams of love alone. Oh, I love you as I loved you when you were sweet, when you were sweet, 16. I love you as I loved you when you were sweet. You were sweet, 16.
Yeah. Brilliant, George. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Beautiful song, that, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's been a while since I played that one. It just came into my head there earlier. Thinking of something nice to do.
Well, that's, of course, made famous by the Furies. Have you ever worked with the Furies?
I have actually, yeah. On a few occasions, down in the Cork Opera House, I used to do a support slot for them once a year when they done an annual return to the Cork Opera House. Great fun, great lads, and still flying the flag as well. In fairness to them, still gigging away as much as they can. I got the opportunity as well to do a little bit with Finbar Fury, and then of course I replaced his son in the High Kings as well, you know, when he left. So yeah, I have a little bit of history there with getting to know the Furies. And
did you enjoy the High Kings?
Yeah, I was a member for a couple of years, and I done a few American tours and European tours, UK tours, and it was a great experience in terms of the exposure, but I had this kind of burning desire inside me to do something that was a bit more
your own.
Yeah, selfish as well, I guess. But you have to be when you want to follow what you want to do yourself.
The last time we were talking to you, or not the last time we were talking to you, the last time I met you was in outside the Ballard and in Ballymafey, and you give me one of these this album here, and if anybody was listening and they want to get an introduction to George Murphy's music, this is George and the Rising Suns and New Beginnings tour live in Dublin. It's an absolute belter of an album. Yeah. Absolutely. But in my book I always maintain one of the best songs about is Working Class Hero, but you just can't play it on the radio, you know what I mean?
The F-bombs.
But isn't it just brilliant bit of writing? And
it's funny because when I originally recorded Working Class Hero for my very first album, it was produced by Phil Coulter, and Phil was having an argument with Sony because he wanted me to change the lyrics so that the track would be radio friendly. Yeah. But they put their foot down and said if John Lennon wrote the F word as a lyric, then
it stays on it.
That, you know what I mean?
A fantastic song, but
it's
lyrically is. And Blaine Willie McTell, just something else as well. My God, that's just, would you be a Bob Dylan fan or
Love Dylan.
Yeah, is that right?
But you know something, like I would claim to be a really big Bob Dylan fan, and yet you could probably play me 100 songs now by Bob Dylan that I've never heard of before.
I know.
Because he's just got that much material, you know.
Unbelievable.
He's got so many albums. I'd be familiar with an awful lot of his kind of more popular and well-known songs, but he just has such a back catalogue that there's probably half the stuff that I don't know.
But you're actually right, and I've said this before many a time. I only not got into Bob Dylan, but I've only appreciated his music within the last 10 years. It just wasn't on my radar.
Right.
And all of a sudden I went, you know, where have I been?
Yeah.
But you're right in what you say, because even if you go to Spotify and you put on an album, or you put it, holy God,
Well, see that track you're talking about there, Blind Willie McTell.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the greatest songs he's ever written, and he didn't even bother putting that on an album. That turned up on a bootleg series of like pretty much songs that he was taking out of the bin just to share with the world. Imagine being that good that you could have something like that just sitting on a shelf.
Doing nothing.
Yeah, it's gas, you know.
But that album, I'd say it's a great album. It's a great live album. Do you feature any of them songs on your playlist, or do you have a set list that you're playing with the group, or do you say no, we'll do this one now, or what way do you work?
I have to be honest, Paul. Sometimes I'm guilty of not having a set list, and the lads who are perhaps a bit more organised than I am, they do get like annoyed at me that that I don't have it sorted. But you know, the set list often goes out the window for me. If I go out on the stage and I'm 2 songs in and I don't feel that the third song is the right one to land at that moment in time, I'd rather just wing it and figure out what like, I mean, for example, this weekend are going to be 2 completely different style of shows, because one will be a sit down session where people are all kind of included. We'll want them to be joining in and suggesting songs and shouting up to us and having the crack, and then the following night will be very sit down, relaxed, reserved, and they're both brilliant for completely different reasons.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah, I get that. Now, funny enough, we were Declan Sunnett was up with us, and he remarked that when he didn't get bored playing with Christy Moore, because he said that he didn't know what the next song was going to be, and that helped him.
Yeah.
You know, and I suppose you can get that too, because if you were just doing the same old, it'd be a bit boring, and you might lose your touch with it, you know. So you're right. You're right. Go with the mood, go with the hall, and hope the band know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
So, you know. So if people want to get tickets for the Ballard, they can contact the box office.
Yeah, well, honestly, last I seen now, they were down to, I think, single figures. There was very, very few left.
Excellent.
But
Excellent.
Connor told me that they have the space to extend the area, so I think they're putting in an extra 50 seats. So I think they're live now, so it'll be first come, first served, basically. You know.
Brilliant. And is that it's a great feeling when you're that close to selling out.
Yeah, well, I mean, even talking to these lads, I couldn't be happier for Tom and the boys, because, I mean, like I said, Tom coming in as a support to me in the same venue that he's sold out now 3 times with his own band. You know, it's brilliant to see people, and it goes to show, if you do put in the hard hours and graft and work at it, and you can tell how much effort has gone in there with the harmonies they have and stuff like that, you know, so fair play to them. But look, for us as well, the same thing. I mean, we set our sights when we started this on doing Vicar Street. We said if we can take a Dublin session and take it to what we consider being the big stage in Dublin, but we never realistically thought we'd get there, you know, but it was always a goal that we thought we'd strive for. But we're now playing our first Vicar Street day on the 28th of September, and it's nearly sold out as well, and that's
just first class.
Away, you know?
It's first class, and that doesn't happen for any reason, George. That happens because people like your style, like your music, and they're going along to hear a good show. Vicar Street, you're right, because like any time I've been in Vicar Street, it's because of Aslan, and it's there. They just love Vicar Street at Christmas, and they just love it. But unfortunately, Christy not been well at the moment. And you were a big friend with Christy too, weren't you?
Absolutely worship the man. Like he gave me so much time and helped me out so much when I was just starting out. And I done my first Vicar Street performances were with Aslan. Brought me on as a special guest. Bigged me up to the crowd before my performance and everything, like just little things that he didn't have to do, that he went out of his way to do. He really is a working class hero, Chris.
You know, right. But as I say, whenever I was in Vicar Street, you know, I always turned and looked round. You know, I like looking round at when you're going, wow, this is there's an atmosphere on it,
Yeah,
and
there's
we
a
were
history in the walls.
exactly, and we were lucky enough to go behind with them and stuff, and you're looking at it really as it speaks. The Olympia is another place that I just just thought it was amazing, but that's great. It's great that Vicar Street is happening for you as a Dublin born artist. It must be a big thing, Vicar Street, because that's where sort of everybody plans to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, it's kind of like the Mecca, and
Yeah.
I've been blessed that I've gotten to play it on several occasions, but I feel like this time will feel like the first time in that it's myself with my band
Yeah.
on our terms doing
Yes.
what we want to do.
Yes.
It's not a case that I'm a guest of Aslan or a guest of the Dubliners or a member of the High Kings. Those were all lovely memories too.
Of course.
But I think this will be, extra special.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we wish you well with that. George, we'd love to get another song.
Yeah, well,
do you need to tune, or are we? I can take an ad break,
I think we're close enough.
You're all
We
right.
get away. We're close enough for folk. Well, since we were talking about a bit of Bob Dylan, maybe I'll go for one of his. I was listening to this one in the car on the way up, and I think the older I get, the more I appreciate this song. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's Forever Young.
Ah, lovely.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others, let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars, climb on every rung, and may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth. See the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. May you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. And may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well done, George. I love that. It's funny enough, that song, I have the lyrics printed and framed.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, it is.
You see, when you
the words, the message in the words, just
when you read them, you're actually, I don't know how somebody can think that it's a gift, and he put it well into music and did, in fairness. Growing up, George, for yourself, who was your kind of music heroes?
Well, see, my dad was in a band since before I was born, so I got kind of brought up. I got an education in all the greats of the 60s, 70s, and 80s when I grew up. So, you know, I loved the Beatles, I loved Queen, I loved the Kinks, Squeeze, the Small Faces, like all these great 60s bands. I suppose when I branched away from all the stuff that my dad was brainwashing me with, if you will, I went through a spell where I, you know, I loved Oasis, who didn't, and some of the great 90s bands, but I don't listen to enough modern day music. You know, I'm kind of set in my ways, and that all the stuff I listen to is old school mostly. You know, there are some great new bands coming on the scene, but I just don't think you can beat the oldies. No, Creedence Clearwater Revival, another favourite as well.
Excellent band. He's, as I was saying earlier,
he's coming soon, John Fogerty,
It'll be a good gig. Probably maybe the last time we might see him in these shows, but a legend. You came to prominence way back. When I say way back, maybe it's not a way back, but the television programme Eurostar.
Eurostar, yeah. That's 20 years ago now.
Is that how long ago it was?
Yep. Starting to feel old, Paul.
But that's hard. My God, I didn't think it was 20 years ago.
It's 19 and a half now, coming up on 20. So I auditioned in late 2003, and the live shows were 2004. So
did that help you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, it was a platform to help get me out there, but it feels so much more rewarding this time around, you know? Like the crowds that we're building that are coming to see us now, there's a lot of them don't even remember who I was back then, and stuff like that. And that for me is kind of a good thing. Not that there was anything bad in what happened in the past, but it's nice to feel that, you know, we've started from zero, and not that we're at 100 yet or whatever, but that we're getting there on our own merit, you know, as opposed to anything that kind of happened in the past. Because them TV shows and stuff, you know, like, I can't really knock it because I took part in one of them, but there's a falseness behind the success that comes off the back of them, you know, and for a lot of people it's here today, gone tomorrow, you know, and it's I don't think I had the ability or maybe even the talent then that I've had now that I've put 20 years worth of effort into it, you know, but yet I was given everything on a plate, #1 albums on the Late Late Show, front of magazines, all that kind of thing, and it's great to have gotten that exposure, but it didn't feel like I earned it first time round. Whereas
you're kind of tied in them programs, you know. What the only part that I didn't like about that was getting an artist to sing a song that just was not his style, or her style, or whatever. I thought that was gone, and then they'd ridicule the men, more so X Factor, and they'd ridicule them, and you're going,
you're the one that got told me to
it's not that person's kind of stuff, you know. Sounding great, George. Best of luck with the gigs up this part of the country. From Mark McKinney, good man, Mark. And Aidan Laird said, "What a powerful voice, brilliant." There you go. Well done. What about album? Are you writing? Or are you doing anything new?
Yeah, myself and the lads, the Rising Sons, we're working on our first album. Now, we've been working on our first album for a while. It's, you know, with a lot of the lads have day jobs and stuff like that, so finding the time, but we're meeting up once a week, every week to rehearse stuff, and we have a different agenda each week, a different song to work on, and we're trying to get as many of them like tight as we can before we go into a studio, and just so that we have them at the ready. But I'd love to get an album out before our Vicar Street date if we can, you know.
And are you talking originals? All originals?
Yeah, no, like, but at the same time, I'd sooner put out a really good cover than like an average original, you know. So we have to be realistic with ourselves as well, because, you know, there's none of us are as good at Bob Dylan at writing a song. So if there's already a really good Bob Dylan song there, maybe you're better off taking that than you are taking. But we're enjoying the process of coming up with some of our own original material, and it's going well, you know. It's
you can tell, as I say, once again, if people maybe are following your your videos that you put up. I watched them, and I've seen how you've progressed from starting off in the sessions to where you are now. And I just think it's amazing. I think you've had it at the right time. And as you say yourself, you're establishing yourself as George Murphy and the Rising Suns, not part of any other group. And I think it's proven itself now when you see the like of the Ballard, you see the like of Vicar Street, as you say, something that you wouldn't in your dreams as an artist, really, you know. So it's well done to yourself.
Thanks.
Well done to yourself, and we hope it continues. What the plans for the summer? Are you gigging? And
Yeah, we're flat out. Like we've received so many offers. If anything, I've probably put too bloody much into the book now, because what's starting to happen is we're starting to get more offers now for gigs that might even be bigger and better than some of the ones that we've already agreed to do, you know, which is, you know, a good complaint that
yes, yes.
we've enough in the diary, but we're hoping we'll be going to the Fla in Mullingar. We're playing the Ballyshannon Folk Festival, headlining that on the Saturday night. We should be playing on a stage down at Electric Picnic as well. So a lot of the bigger kind of festivals and stuff like that are starting to knock on the door, which is great. So if we don't get them all in 23, Paul, we'll certainly be looking for them in 24, you know.
Come here, do you look after the managing side yourself, or do you have someone?
I have been up until now, but when I wanted to take on Vicar Street, I mean, it's not the kind of place that you can just ring up and say, I want to book a date in Vicar Street. You kind of need a bit of clout behind you. And I got on to a very good friend of mine who's been involved in the industry for dinosaur years at this stage, Mr. Pat Egan. He was the first man that brought Bob Marley to Ireland to play, and he brought over Elton John and Queen, and he's an old schooler in terms of booking gigs, and he's been booking gigs around Ireland for 50 odd years now. But I got on to Pat and I said I really want to tackle Vicar Street, and so he's helping me with some of the bigger pieces of the jigsaw.
Brilliant.
You know?
Well done. That's great. That's just amazing, and I'm delighted for you. Really am, because we know how hard you've worked. We'd love to get a final song. We're going to take a quick ad break, but final song. I'll
have a think of one. I don't know what I'll do yet. But
we'll be back. George Murphy live with us here on Highland Radio on a brilliant Monday night sessions. Don't go away. That's how you know it's live radio. The thing doesn't flip and work half the times when I say. Where's it go? Oh shit, we're getting Apache again. Anyway, we're back. We're back. Oh my God, that's what happens. This is a brilliant new system here. If Paul could get it to work, it would be working great. But as I say, George Murphy's live in studio with us. He's playing in Dungiven this coming Friday night, and he's got an almost sold out gig in the Ballard and Vicar Street coming up in September, and it's all good. It's all good. George, the final song, what do you think?
I'm going to go for a song called The Spring Hill Mining Disaster. It tells the true story of men who lost their lives while digging a mine in a place called Spring Hill in Nova Scotia in the year of 1958. And it was a really cool cover of this by U2. They were tipping the hat to the Dubliners back in the day on the Late Late Show. They were only starting off, and they came in, they sang this. So here's my rendition of The Spring Hill Mining Disaster. In the town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, down in the dark of the Cumberland mine, there's blood on the coal and the miners lie in roads that never saw sun or sky, roads that never saw sun or sky. In the town
Spring Hill, you don't sleep easy. Often the earth will tremble and roll. When the earth is restless, the miners die. 'Cause bone and blood is the price of coal. Bone and blood is the price of coal. In the town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, late in the year of 58, well, the day still comes and the sun still shines, but it's dark as the grave in the Cumberland mine, dark as the grave in the Cumberland mine. 3 days passed when their lamps gave out, and Caleb rushed and got up and said, "We've no more water, no more light or bread. So we live on songs and we hope instead. We live on songs and we hope instead." Listen for the shouts of the black-faced miners. Listen through the rubble for the rescue team. 300 tons of coal and slack. That's hope imprisoned in a 3-foot sea. Hope imprisoned in a 3-foot sea. 12 days passed and some were rescued, leaving the dead just to lie alone. Through all their days they just dug a grave, and 2 miles of earth is a marking stone. 2 miles of earth is a marking stone.
Yeah. Brilliant, George. Brilliantly told the story there. Your vocals deliver that, and which I always like. Would you be a fan of Luke Kelly's?
No, definitely a big fan of Luke's, all right, yeah.
You've got that, and you've got. I'm sure people have told you, but not only that, you have the uniqueness more. It's not to say you're just sounding like somebody. You've got that. There's a passion in your voice, which is brilliant.
Thanks very
George
much.
Murphy plays the Ballard Theatre on
Saturday night. This Saturday
night.
8th of April, and Murphy's in Dungiven on Friday the 7th.
So there you go along. You'll enjoy great music. George, as I say, you made the effort to come up to see us, and we totally appreciate it, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Paul, yourself and Jimmy have been giving me some great support over the years, so I'm very, very grateful. Thank you very much.
No, you're more than welcome.